Ryan, good to see you today.
Yeah, you too.
Thanks for filling out your diary card. Got that here. Give me 1 second just take a look at it and we'll talk about it.
Sure.
You know, the first thing I'm going to look for is to see if you had any thoughts of suicide or hurting yourself this week. All right, zeros. Nice. How do you feel about that?
Pretty good.
Mhm.
It's definitely a bit of a change, but it's been, I don't know, a process, kind of
Mhm.
getting to this point. So.
You know, the past couple of weeks, you've been getting a little bit better. And this week, good. Let's see. Let's go with emotions. First thing that jumps out and hits me is this fear. What was going on this week? Looks like you got some stuff off the charts here.
Yeah. What? I don't know what day.
Well, you got a 9 on Friday,
Okay.
an 8 on Thursday, 7 on Wednesday. Looks like something was building up.
Maybe I feel like I had, or I know what it is. I had like a few papers that were due, and it was just like kind of everything. I don't know, like the perfect storm of schoolwork and kind of having to get stuff done, but not being able to get everything done exactly the way that I wanted to get it done.
Mhm.
You know, it was like just get it done, turn it in, kind of like that'll do sort of thing, and I hate doing that. So
And this is
And
the end of the semester now.
Yeah.
And so you've got a lot on your plate.
Exactly.
And,
yeah, yep, that's accurate. And it's just that, whenever that happens, I'm turning stuff in rapidly, then those thoughts of like, oh man, I'm going to fail something or forget to turn something in, and then like the wheels start coming off the rails, I guess, where it's like, oh, and then all of a sudden I'll be kicked out of school, and then I'll be homeless, and then my wife will leave me. And you know what I mean?
yeah, wow. I mean, I guess those things could happen. They seem pretty extreme, though.
Definitely, yeah.
Sadness. Monday, you had a 5. What's going on Sunday? I mean, Monday.
I think that a lot of the other emotions for me kind of come out of the fear emotion, like so the anxiety and fear.
Mhm.
I feel like that's always kind of like the gateway to me feeling like maybe a little like despair or whatever, or sadness, or just like a general not feeling great about myself.
Mhm.
If that makes sense.
Sure.
I think that, and it kind of comes from that storyline of.
Talk to me a little bit about the good stuff here. I see love.
Mm-hmm.
8. What did your wife do to deserve an 8? What's that all about? Tell me about your love.
Yeah, it's just, my partner.
Mhm.
I feel like we have a legitimate connection,
Mhm.
and it's not, I've had plenty of shitty relationships in the past
Mhm.
that I felt like, maybe all these emotions were off the charts, and like there was a lot going on. Didn't feel like
So for procrastination, one of the urges that you put was checking your Facebook and going on social media.
yeah,
And that keeps you from doing what you're supposed to be doing, paying bills, that sort of thing?
absolutely, yeah. So that's like my ineffective behavior. Um,
That's your ineffective behavior because you're checking 2 times, or you want to check. So just make sure I'm clear here. The effective behavior is going to be keeping it to 2 or less a day, checking.
yeah,
And the ineffective is going to be you're checking more than 2 times a day.
The other effective behavior that I have on there is doing like a mindfulness meditation.
Mhm.
So kind of almost exactly what you were just talking about, being present, taking time to purposefully.
Looking at did you act on them? Did you do that ineffective behavior?
Sometimes.
Mhm.
I don't know,
Sometimes?
Was it more than 50% of the time?
What you're saying is just keeping you from, getting the goals that's going to make your life worth living, right?
Definitely.
And finances, I imagine that's going to help a life be worth living. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's.
So let's just walk through this real quick. Let's say that tomorrow morning you wake up and you see your wife get up and go meditate.
Mm-hmm.
Part of you is like, yeah, I should go do that, but then something hits you, I don't want to. And, that procrastination starts kicking in, and you say, I'm going to do it later on this afternoon, or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So walk me through how you're going to handle that with with the pros and cons, the stop, and all that stuff of what you can do to motivate yourself to get up and go meditate with it.
Probably. I think just like trying to even use that moment as a mindfulness moment, because you kind of nailed it. I will like wake up and then there's that like decision moment of like, do I stay in bed for an extra 20 minutes or do I get up and have coffee like now and do a meditation? I think if I approach that, even just that moment, and try to like build awareness around that moment, like why am I wanting to stay in bed? And like
as you're doing that mindfulness, in your head, I'm sure you're doing the pros and cons.
Totally
right?
thinking. Yeah,
so what would the cons be for
I would
getting up?
probably tell myself that losing 10 minutes of sleep is valuable, but it's probably not, And I think if I made that pros and cons list in my head, I would probably have to admit that 10 minutes of sleep isn't going to be as beneficial as 10 minutes.
Because what I'm hearing is, you're already awake, right?
Yeah.
You're awake thinking about it.
Yeah.
So
at least in spirit.
This week, maybe we can try to hone in on some specific homework exercises to see, get you engaged. I know in the past it's usually kind of hard to get you to do your homework. You probably look at your homework like you do the bills. So because sometimes I feel like it, and this is me, it feels like it's hard to really get you to really want to do some of the homework assignments that we assign. I want to give you something that, A, that I know you can do, and B, that you know you can do, and something that you're going to want to do or be willing to do. And thinking about that with the, what skills so far have you found to be the most useful for you? Maybe we'll try to build off that. What skill, if I look over here, you have stop and tip, which we worked on, and then you have the pros and cons, and accepts. You've tried some of those throughout the week.
Yeah.
Out of those, which one do you find to be the most effective?
Maybe the pros and cons. I think that one's pretty effective for me because it kind of, it's sort of like the wise mind idea of, doing the pros and cons. It kind of gets me out of the emotional moment. I can feel that happening, and I feel like I'm able to kind of see those choices written out, and it lets me make a decision that's more effective, if that makes sense. It's less of this like, oh, I'm like feeling scared of this thing or like worried about finances, and then just like acting on that emotion and going straight to something comforting. It's more of like, I write down the pros and the cons, and I'm like, obviously I should pay these bills right now instead of avoiding them and having to pay them anyways.
So let's build off that then, the pros and the cons.
Okay.
You have on here that you have these urges. It seems like a lot. So I don't know how I can, get a commitment from you to say that every time you have an urge, you're going to stop, pause, think it through, and jot down your pros and cons, that sort of thing. Do you think though that we can maybe agree on at least, let's say for example you have 10 urges throughout the day. You can at least take 2 of those and really take the time to maybe do a pros and cons?
Yeah. Twice a day, you think? Is that
what? Yeah. Well, in fact, let's stick to the effective behavior that you're doing. You're only checking your social media 2 times or less a day. So let's stick with 2. I know you can do it, and it sounds like you feel like you can do it.
That sounds possible.
And by doing it, do you see why we're doing that though? And
Yeah.
You understand that this is a behavior, and by being aware, why we teach mindfulness first is so you can be present and know what's going on.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Well, great. So let's do that then. Let's make that your assignment, and